All right, welcome back to Helos and Homies. I'm here with a guest who, for one of the only times ever I've met them on the spot. They own a barbershop / clothing company that runs out of Fairfield, New South Wales. I'm here with Paddy from FourWalls. How are you, brother?
Hey,
You
good, bro. How you been?
Yeah, good, bro.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Pleasure.
Yeah, bro.
Thanks for coming on.
I know, Penrith, man.
Yeah.
I've only been here like twice in my life, so yeah.
Last time you came here was for Panthers, eh?
Yeah, because during the young days, someone said that, oh, you can win off the pokies there. So we travelled all the way here, but no wins, bro.
Yeah, bro, they were, we'll get on topic, but they were like top 5 for pokies revenue in like the country last year.
Right, because how old are you?
I'm 23.
Did you know that there used to be a Hungry Jack's inside there?
No.
Yeah, so it was like a RSL with a Hungry Jack's downstairs.
Like where you could, like, so nowadays.
Oh, I don't remember it, but
yeah. So you have like the pokey room, and then there's like a staircase in the middle of the pokies
yes,
where you go downstairs.
yes, I think that's where it was.
And then to the right, there's like a little chip and burger shop.
Yeah, it used to be Hungry Jack's.
What the fuck?
I
didn't
know,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to go off in the day. Kind of died down. Grand final when Panthers won it.
Yeah.
Out the back, like downstairs, was nuts. Like it was big party. Big party. Introduce yourself, bro. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
So yeah, my name's Paddy. I grew up in Southwest or Sydney, more like Fairfield City. Yeah. My background, I'm Southeast Asian, Thai and Laos. Yeah. 34. Grew up in the 90s. Yeah, and that's it. Just lived and breathed through everything, the cultural stuff. Just
Come up on that hip hop culture.
Yeah, fell in love with like the 90s hip hop, especially like pop music as well. Because there was video hits and rage. They used to play a lot of pop stuff. So yeah, I grew up on like just all sorts of music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to wake up, I don't know why as a kid, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. And on Saturday mornings, I'd run downstairs to watch Rage.
No way.
Yeah, it was the best, man.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. I remember like Nelly Furtado would be on it. And there was some other artists. But yeah, Nelly Furtado was like a big one. Fergie was another one.
Yes.
But Timbaland was like basically every second song he was involved with. I remember back then. I'm trying to think.
Because I think Nelly Furtado, she started off like underground.
Yeah.
So that's why she was always on Rage. And then she cracked, the mainstream.
Yeah,
with Timbaland and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good times, bro.
Yeah, good times.
So for people wondering how this has happened, a good friend of mine, a good friend of yours as well, Solo messaged me. He's like, hey, bro, you got to get Paddy on from FourWalls. I love what FourWalls do. This is Solo's words, and I think you would too, which I do. I did my research, infatuated with what you've created, bro. I think it's awesome.
Thank you, bro.
But Solo gave me, so this is what, when someone suggests a guest, Solo gives me some things to ask about. So Solo said he lived with you at one point, which is interesting.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Was that after Justice Crew?
It was before, bro.
Wow,
Yeah.
how many years ago is that? Like 15?
2009. Yeah, it was around 2009.
Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong. It was, around 2007 to 2009.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we met up because he moved over here from New Zealand for dancing. So, yeah, we just met through mutuals and then, we became boys and he joined our crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was living with me for a bit.
So you guys were in breakdancing crew together?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then he said you also have a musical background with your dad. He was a guitarist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like a mega, he's just in love with music. That's how I got onto music.
Yeah.
Because of him. Yeah, just he collects guitars, he's a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves it all.
Yeah, that's mad. Now, FourWalls.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've done my research on it. Those hats you can see in the background, FourWalls, Home Sweet Home, as well on the jacket. It's a mad jacket. That's a mad jacket.
Thank you, bro.
Explain like FourWalls as a concept. Like, what is the business?
Okay, so FourWalls is pretty much a brand, which means like through like an indigenous lens, strengthening your mind, body, spirit, family. So pretty much laying your foundation, like a house. So if one doesn't line up, then it all just crumbles. Yeah, so that's the meaning of it. So pretty much started off as a clothing brand. We started in 2015. Well, me and my mate, we had gone to Indonesia. We came with the idea, went to Indonesia to do some research, met up with some friends, checked out some manufacturing companies, and then came back and then we sat on it. Sat on it for about 4 years till 2019, and then we did our first pop up in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Went very well, and then that's when the clothes started building up in the living room, and then I seen super really big potentials in it. So then I hit up one of my close friends who was a barber at the time, and asked him, okay, let's open something. Let's open a shop. I help you, you help me. And it became a space of just clothing and a barber shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you use the space to kind of run your show, and he uses the space to do the barbering as like a physical checkpoint type of thing.
Yeah, so we put it all under one roof as like a brand, so a good example would be like Red Bull. They do sports, they do Red Bull music.
Yeah.
They sell drinks on the side. Yeah, they do events as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, do motorsports. Yeah, so that's pretty much
all under
just
one
avenues.
umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The four walls thing. Tap back into that. So what are the four walls?
So it's mind, body, spirit, and family.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And so that hit you in like 2015. That was when you kind of name came to you.
Yeah, because growing up, it was all about building your foundation. More so with the hip hop side of things.
Yeah.
Because I'm a b-boy, aka breakdancer. Yeah, foundation was always important to learn. To learn the basics before you move on to the more the higher level stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really important. I think it would be the same for everyone. Like you got to walk before, you got to crawl before you walk, and then you walk, then to, jog, and then jog, then run, then sprint. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. And so you go to Indonesia.
Yep.
And you looked for manufacturers in Indonesia, or you're already on a trip and you figured you were looking?
We went to meet up with some friends that were in the business side of things.
Yeah.
And then, then we looked around, did my research, and then came back and just sat on that idea for like 5 years.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, 4 years, sorry, yep.
And then in 2019, it comes back to you.
It comes back.
How come?
That's the like mixed part of it was, I don't know, I just thought, man, I'm just going to do it. Yeah, I had some friends talk to me as well, like, hey, you should do it. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. At the start, I didn't really want to because, I'm really just me as a person. I love, fashion and culture. So it was like, it felt like I was selling myself.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
I'm going to make the whole like southwest of Sydney like dress like me.
Yeah.
And then it won't be special anymore because it's something that, you live and you breathe, and then everyone's going to have a piece of it.
Yeah.
So that was that was pretty much the thing. But then I was like, you know what? I got to drop all that stuff and then make a movement out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the first pop-up, 2019, went like good.
How come? Like, was it the marketing? Was it just like right space, right time? Like,
yeah, I think it was the right space, right time, and also the marketing. It was at my cruise event. We had like a 19-year anniversary.
Yeah.
The breakdancing crew, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sell my clothes here. Yeah, and then it picked up, and then
Can I ask how many units did you have like at that time? Like how many like?
Bro, there was quite a few we had because that time we were screen printing, and there was minimums of and we had I can't remember. I think it was like 90 to 100 or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then it just went bit by bit, slowly. My dad's living room was like getting packed, like slowly, boxes. It's like, man, I need a space now.
Yeah.
I can't be doing this, trying to pack orders and paper everywhere. Oops, there was paper everywhere and that.
Yeah, right. And then so the shop opens. How have you found well, you actually opened the shop. We touched on it before the show.
Yep.
You opened the shop during COVID.
Yes.
That first, 2020, like early 2020.
Yeah.
like, what are you thinking in like February and March of 2020 when like the biggest shit show we've seen in like our lifetimes is going on? What are you thinking like opening like a brick and mortar store? Like, were you scared or were you more keen than ever to open it? Like, what was the whole vibe?
I think I was more keen than ever, just because of the drive. I kept, growing up in, obviously the area and stuff. I had this mentality of, if I want something, I'm gonna get it, and we always work real hard out there. So I just went for it. I was looking every day for a shop, and then found one, and I thought this is the best time because while everyone was at home, not working, panicking, I was out working, meeting up with the real estates, and then we moved in. We moved in during that first COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I remember I was selling hoodies at the time.
Yep.
And the big thing about COVID that like a lot of people in business were like, that's why content became massive back in COVID.
Yeah.
Because there's so many eyes
Yep.
like on screens. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
trade, like there were so many people who'd normally be out at work that were working from home that had their phone next to them. So there's so many more eyes on screens. You know what I mean? And people like supporting small businesses and stuff like that. I remember I peddled like 300 hoodies in like a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like they was shit. Like the brand's come along, my brand's come a long way from those days. But yeah, that was just kind of like during COVID, and I spoke to Ricky, which I spoke to you earlier about.
Yep.
It's just kind of like that time where it was the perfect opportunity, in hindsight, of course, where it was like there's a gap here where there's so many people that have eyes ready for purchasing, ready to follow, ready to like really like just follow along anything. They got so much time on their hands, and it was like a perfect storm almost for some people to enter business.
Yeah.
There's so much fear. There was so many people like scaling back. It's like perfect time to just be like, no, I'm going to enter the market, and here's my little section.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty much what we seen clearly during the actual lockdown, the second one.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was much needed.
Yeah.
The store needed to rest. And then, we dropped like a couple of hoodies, and that went well too. I think everyone was at home.
Yeah.
At first I was thinking like, damn, I don't think no one's going to buy because no income.
Yeah, yeah.
But then everyone was online shopping more. So that was good too.
Yeah. And a lot of people got around people.
Yeah.
It was like despite how like fucked up the times were, a lot of people like just genuinely just got around like people who were trying to do business or like just doing anything. A lot of people like, I'll get in support. Like we need you more than ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because we had like cops patrolling, and then we had to like sneak into the shop, put the blinds down, and like pack the orders.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see like, and then look out the blinds, and it was like cops on horses and stuff. Yeah.
That's mental.
But it was good though. I
should have documented that, bro.
I know.
That would be sick.
I liked that lockdown though. Yeah. It was great. It was great to like pull back and then refresh.
Yeah. Use it as opportunity, just kind of like reframe everything.
Yeah.
Kind of rethink everything.
Yeah.
And then 2021, come out of that lockdown, you're going again.
Yep.
How many chairs at the barbershop do you have now?
So we first started off with 2 chairs.
Yep.
And then now we have 4.
That's mad.
Yeah.
And then, like, how do you go about the process of bringing barbers in? So the first one's obviously like a close mate of yours.
Yep.
What's the process? Is it people approaching you? Do you approach barbers who are working elsewhere? Like, what's the go?
So before it used to be, we used to try to approach people.
Yeah.
Which is, now it's different because every barber's got their own spot.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really hard to pull them in. Then, this is funny that you mentioned that because last week the boys had mentioned, it's either we find a barber or we make them.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's what we've been doing all the time. Ever since we've been opening, we've been bringing on, barbers, young kids, upskilling them, help them grow, and they become official barbers.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, because that's what we're all about, is home for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the West is where all the grit and all the like people that work hard, right? Yeah, and we just want everyone to win. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think your ideas of home for growth? So I've been to Thailand 3 times.
Yeah.
I was there recently last year in like June or July. Do you think like the whole idea of like the spirituality and stuff, do you get that from like your heritage?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really like think about it, but if I do sit and think, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like a peaceful person that just likes to monetize everything,
Yeah.
keep everything steady. You know, everyone vibe together. Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I'm in Bangkok, obviously it's just like there's just so much shit going on.
That's where my family's from. That's where I'm from. I've never been to any of the islands.
Yeah.
I've only been to Bangkok, back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see like a massive emphasis on people. Like a lot of people, you can kind of tell they're just at peace with themselves in Bangkok.
Yeah.
A lot of the locals, especially when you're like out on like the outskirts, so to speak, like, and you're just walking around and they're so happy and they're so content, and a lot of them are like just kind of in their own world in like the most positive sense. You know what I mean? Whereas like in the Western world, there's so many people every day. You see them rushing around, you see them panicking. You don't really get that like in Thailand, I found.
Yeah.
Or like South Asia for the most part. A lot of people are quite like content with themselves.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard even from friends going to Thailand like recently to Bangkok and then coming back and explaining it all, and it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, even going out onto the roads, like the strips where people party and stuff, people are just out and just doing what they do. And no one cares, you know? It's just free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people just content with themselves, I reckon.
Yeah.
They're just content with like how they're living and what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like in Western culture, we try to impress a lot of people we don't know.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was like the big difference.
Yeah.
But I can kind of tell like with FourWalls, there's like that idea of like spirituality and like growth.
Yeah. That's where we come from as well, you know?
Yeah. So, and you mentioned, is it Lao?
Yeah, Lao Thai, yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you tap into any like teachings or anything from like Lao culture?
Nah.
Nah?
I'm like westernized.
Yeah, right.
Been here too long.
Yeah.
I can't even speak that. Yeah, properly.
Would you ever go over and like stay for a while?
I've been wanting to for quite some time.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have lots of work here to be done.
Yeah.
First, soon, hopefully soon.
Yeah, if I was to live outside of Australia, I'm half Italian. Anyone who listens to the podcast regularly has heard me say that every episode.
Yeah.
Obviously, so Florence is like the winery region.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Well, Tuscany, I should say. So I would obviously go out those ways. Like if I was to leave Australia, live somewhere else. But if I was to live anywhere besides Italy or Australia, it'd be Chiang Mai in Thailand.
I heard it's really nice there.
Yeah.
I heard the weather is great.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If I could make money online and just just kick back and just enjoy my life there, then I would.
Did you see any elephants there?
No, so last time I went, man, I reckon I was like 15, but my mum and dad and stuff go. But we didn't do the elephant for some. I can't remember why we didn't do the elephant stuff, but I've been to like Phuket and whatnot.
Yeah.
Bangkok I've gone to every time. And I love it, but like it's too full on for me if I was to live there.
Yeah.
So much happening.
So much.
Yeah.
So much.
So what else do you reckon you've got to finish in Western Sydney? You just mentioned there you feel like you got too much work to do.
Yeah.
What do you reckon needs to be done?
Just more brand building, more connecting with the community, and just helping people grow. Yeah, it's just because I see really a lot of potential in people still, even in the team. You know, in our team, we have like 10 plus people working under FourWalls, and you know, I want to really give back. Yeah, what I've done. Yeah.
What would you say when you mention community building, which I love? I think it's the coolest thing. 7-0 does it really well with 92 well. When you say community building, like what does that entail?
I think for now, because we're tapped into the dance community, because we all come from dancing backgrounds. Yeah. So it's more just doing dance events, pulling them through so that they can come through and express themselves when we have events, you know. Because dancing, that's what it is. It's like self-expression. Yeah, and then we want to be able to run workshops and then hopefully, you know, move on to doing other type of workshops like photography workshops and stuff. Yeah. Because, you know, Fairfield, it's a lot of like immigrants out there. Yeah. Like Middle Eastern like people. Yeah. So we want to work on that more.
Yeah, that's mad, bro.
Yeah.
That's sick. The breakdancing events. Yeah. Home of the Brave, is that what they're called?
Yeah, we have two. So Home of the Brave is a side one. Yeah. But the main one is Boogie Wonderland. We did that 1 week before that last lockdown.
Yeah, right.
1 week. It was crazy. We had guests from interstate and stuff too, and some of them had to cancelled their flights, and but we just went with it anyway,
Yeah.
and it was really good. It was like a backyard. We did it in our car park.
Yeah, man.
It was just that vibe of, it felt like a massive cookout barbecue with a dance competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you host these events,
Yep.
how many people are coming, and like what's your main goal to get out of it? Like, is it just to bring as many people as you can together through breakdancing?
So that one that we ran, I think it was at least 100 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And pretty much what to get out of it was just more so bringing everyone together to enjoy what is more important, because in breakdancing there's competitions, and with competitions it's cool to have them because it keeps the young generation working hard.
Yeah, hungry. Yeah,
hungry,
yeah.
keep them hungry.
There's a reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's also having jams, which is just like normal events, backyard events where people don't have to worry about all the competition stuff, right? It's more
Expression.
Yeah, more expression, feel more free, and no pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mad. And the Home of the Brave events, you host them in the shop.
Yeah.
When like, so I'm so far into breakdancing, bro. As you can tell,
Yeah,
big boy, right? 6'4",
yeah.
pretty big. Like, when it comes to breakdancing, do you just chuck on beats and songs and people just go from there, or like do you send out the songs beforehand, like this is the song, and people practice to it, or is it like on the spot they just hop in the arena and go for it?
Now on the spot at events there would be a DJ
Yeah.
that would play certain genre of music.
What's that genre?
It's pretty much like break beats. So when in a normal song there would be like a breakdown part.
Yeah.
So they'll get that middle part of that song and just loop it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that's where everyone goes off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
What's a mainstream example, would you say?
damn. I don't know.
Is there any mainstream songs that like you'd break dance to that people might be able to pick up on?
For me, I'm different because I've been doing it for ages. So when I train, it's just like whatever music.
Yeah.
But there's a certain type of song. I don't know if you've heard. What's one that I think that you would have heard? Have you heard of Beggin'?
Beggin'?
Yeah.
Yeah, begging.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
That was like
Such a good song.
Yeah. So that's like one of the mainstream like breakdancing songs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah, that people just go hard.
So the DJ has the beat out there, and then you like anyone can just kind of hop in when they're feeling it. Type of thing.
So it depends on the format. It could be 1-on-1, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, or crew versus crew. Depends what we do with the event, how we structure it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? Crew versus crew?
Yeah, I like that because it's more like, because my crew's been around for 23 years, bro. So
that's mental.
Every time we have the opportunity, we always get together. Because now we're a bit older, so we don't really see each other or even practice together. Whereas before, we used to see each other weekly. We used to practice like every day, almost every day.
Yeah.
But then now, we just wait for these events and then we just come together. It sort of brings everyone together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. I rate that highly.
I've been doing it for 22 years now, man. So
yeah.
What
are like? So this is a question I've wanted to ask someone in breakdancing a long time. What's like the holy grail of like the moves that they can pull off? So like in football, right? Like soccer.
Yeah.
So say like a bicycle kick, right? Like if you score a bicycle kick, like the overhead backwards, like that's like, wow, that's pristine. That's amazing. Is there any moves in like breakdancing where it's like, it's unbelievably hard to do and only like a certain amount of people will be able to do it?
Nah.
It's very freestyle, eh?
Yeah, very freestyle.
Yeah.
But it's like freestyle to a move that's impossible to land all the time.
Yeah, right.
Similar to skating.
Yeah, okay. That's a good way to explain it. Yeah, okay.
I reckon that's the best way. It's pretty much like related to skating.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
And like when you're practicing, what does that entail? Like, is that just the actual dancing, or is there like genuine, like a certain like workout or anything that you'll do to like, because your core and arms would have to be so strong, hey?
Yeah. Everyone has a different method of it. I think, it's pretty much just freestyle.
Yeah.
Getting the basics down first. But for me, it's different. You know, I like to warm up,
Yeah.
do the whole, because I'm a bit older, bro. So
Yeah.
you know,
You need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, so I do like the whole warm up, and then slowly ease into it.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a certain part of the night, like probably like 20 to half an hour, just go hard.
Yeah.
Do rounds on rounds, and then that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other question I have, so I don't know the actual names of any of the moves, right? But say like, when someone's like got their hands on the floor, but their feet are off the ground and they're like moving around like that.
Yeah.
Would that be harder than when someone's spinning on like this part of their neck when they're like spinning on the back of the top of the back of the neck type of thing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So the hands on the ground with the feet in the air would be way harder than the spinning. Yeah, because I've seen like when I see people breakdancing and they're able to like spin on their head almost, which is nuts in itself, or they spin on this part of like the top of the back of their neck.
Yeah.
And then I see like that's really like a showman thing where I like look at it, I'm like, wow, that's impressive. But then I see the people where they got like hands on the floor, and if like anyone who does any workouts, they got hands on the floor, but their feet are in the air the whole time. You're like, holy shit, the amount of strength you have is actually, it's mental.
It comes down to technique as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It just takes practice and practice, eh? Yeah, right. What got you into like this whole breakdancing culture? Like at what point, at what age did it?
I think I was in year 6, bro. Year 6, that was when it was popping off.
Yeah.
That was the start of this whole crazy adventure that when I was in year 6, after school, I used to see all the high school kids doing it. And then it just got bigger and bigger. Once I hit year 7, that's when I really seen it, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I seen a lot of the older guys in high school, they were just going ham in like certain like building in the school.
Yeah.
So my crew, Juice Crew, 23 years, they were the legends of the area of Fairfield.
Yeah.
I wasn't in that crew yet. I was still young, but I used to idolize these guys. Used to see them all the time. Used to try to follow them, and then they were just these. I don't know. It's kind of like seeing superheroes.
Yeah, you put them on a pedestal type of thing. Yeah.
And then I think I must have just kept trying things out, trying moves out, do it at home, living room, front lawn.
Yeah.
And then once I probably finished high school, that's when I linked up with them because they were practicing at the PCYC in Cabramatta. Yeah, and then just, got to know them better. Because, when you were younger, I was seeing these guys, I was like, damn, like the Avengers, like, I can't talk to these guys. Because I used to go to their practice sessions and just sit down and, just sit down.
Yeah,
and they will go hard. And then, when they look away, I'll just try something quickly and then sit back down. Yeah, but these guys, they were pretty much respected at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the American? So like breakdancing obviously comes from like American hip hop, right? Or like that culture.
Yeah.
What music wise, is that what you were inspired by as well? Like that's what you were listening to at the time? So like Nas and stuff like that, I'd imagine.
Not
or like Wu-Tang maybe, or like even different.
To be very honest, I'm like a slow learner.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that breakdancing. I didn't really pop off until I hit like my early 30s, or let's say 28, 29.
So what, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, I didn't really pop off because that's when I was like, okay, if I want this, I'm gonna like just really go hard. Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm like that with everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the way it is. I didn't pop off in the early days like other people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see like footy stars, like, boom, just have a good run, early days straight away, a good debut all the time. But then there's some that don't pop off till like later, and they sort of just peak about later. So then so with that hip hop music as well, I didn't really start listening to them until I hit high school, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because my early childhood years was more pop, which was great. It was pop, R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, R&B would have been big back in the 90s, eh? Yeah, and then early 2000s as well.
Yeah. Because rap was more like Tupac was big.
Yeah.
Because that was just a Western Sydney thing. And then who else would I? Nah, not really. Yeah, it was more when I hit high school. That's when rap and hip hop really
Yeah.
came through.
Who's your, like, obviously rap and hip hop plays like a big part of like the Four Walls experience and like the design you have.
Yeah.
Like I could see Nipsey Hussle in that straight away.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's funny because, during this lockdown time, because of the work that I was putting in with FourWalls, people started to call me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Solo, he had posted up, "This is the Nipsey Hussle of Sydney."
Mad.
And I was like, damn, I couldn't be grateful.
Yeah.
But thank you, bro.
Nah, bro, I got to him. Like, I remember Nipsey when I was like 16, right? And he was just kind of like the guy that hopped on YG's tracks because they were obviously boys at the time. And then when I was fresh out of high school in 2018. That was when I finished late 2017, and he dropped the album, which was Victory Lap.
Yep.
And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, this guy's talking about like fucking business. Like this isn't about like. This is about personality. This is about business. This is about charisma. This isn't about like girls. Like he's got his wifey. He's got that part of life sorted. This isn't about money. Like, well, it's about money, but in like a sensible context, and like how to actually create wealth instead of just I'm a rapper. I got paid 100 bags for this show. I'm gonna spend it on a car. I've already lost it. And and then like I became fascinated with him. I still am, but like I just became completely infatuated. Went through his catalog. Realized he'd been rapping about it for years.
Yeah.
And then, Crenshaw and Slawson, and then the shop as well. Yeah. And the businesses he had. But the way he dressed as well, I loved the way he dressed. And it was kind of something like that. Like it was very like expressive of who he was.
Thank you.
And he had his own distinct style. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, with that Victory Lap, that's one thing that turned my head. Because I didn't really, listen to him early days.
Yeah.
But once he dropped that album, it was like, damn, I think I'm living through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could relate. And then I looked into more of him, of, the business side of things. And it's just, it sort of, brings the Four Walls as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like how, he's all money in label, no money out. Yeah, he was always about, investing into community, building, where he grew up. Where he sold CDs, right?
Yeah.
His mixtapes, and he opened up.
Him and John Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opened up that shop and then bought that whole block to hire people that,
help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it was in John Stone's dedicated song, post death song to, I forget the word. Is it posthumous?
No, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't want to say it wrong. But like his song that he released when Nipsey died, because obviously they were like best mates. There's like a part where like Nipsey's at a concert and he brings John Stone out and he's just basically saying like, we used to share studio time, or we'd go halves, and then one of us would produce for the other one for like a year or two, every Monday night or something, or every like Tuesday night. Yeah. And he talks about that. But so back to the original thing. So the clothing you make is clearly like anyone in hip hop culture, I feel would wear that.
Yeah.
Love it at that. Who are your biggest inspirations in terms of like the hip hop culture type of thing?
I say a lot of New York artists, Nas, Wu-Tang. Yeah, just.
What about like ASAP Mob?
Yeah, they were more probably after, because getting a bit creative.
Yeah.
More expressing through fashion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's A$AP Ferg is one of them. Yeah.
Yams was big on it.
Yeah. And I love the LA rappers as well. Yeah, they got a different style. But I grew up in the 90s, so it was always about looking good and feeling good.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole fusion of me being a breakdancer and fashion came apart, because that was really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you go to a competition, you gotta look the part, right? You gotta, it's the way you walk, the way you talk. Yeah, and I've seen it all, and it was actual real. It's not like fake. Like growing up in the 90s, you know, seen like I used to hang out with a lot of older guys because I'm the only child.
Yeah, right.
So I looked up to a lot of older people like in the streets that were like all hustling and, you know, just living their life. And, you know, the way that they were was just, it was fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't even about money. It was just about this thing that they had, you know, walking around.
Like the energy.
Yeah, the energy.
Yeah.
You know, just chilling, like sitting on the car or the bonnet, you know, with a girl, talking on the phone, like just in like a Fila tracksuit or, you know, kappa. And just like that time, you know, it was like the deodorant, like Lynx, like just like packed on and just like gel in their hair, you know, it was just that whole, the way that they moved, I looked up to that. And that's how I brought it into FourWalls, yeah.
Yeah, that's mad.
The nostalgia of things, yeah.
Yeah. What's been like design wise?
Yep.
Do you look up to anyone in design?
I think Pharrell is.
I think everyone takes a bit from him, eh? I think I think everyone takes it because he has so much out there.
Yeah.
There's so much, like everyone can just take a little bit of like something he's done.
Yeah.
And take it in their own, because he'd want that as well, I think.
Yeah.
Like he's massive on that. Virgil was the same.
Yeah.
He was massive on like giving out as much free advice. I remember this is the best game I ever got from Virgil. Yep. Completely changed Helos, and it's why I didn't upload a pod for like 6 months until I got into the studio. He's got this like candle, and it was in like a steel tin, and the steel tin looked all right, but obviously it's in Virgil Abloh's hand, right? So, but he's got this candle and it's in this steel covering or whatever, and he's like, "This is, if I just put this in the middle of a blank room, it's a piece of trash, right? If I just put it on a blank concrete floor, it's a piece of trash. If I put this in a beautiful room with all this art and beautiful glasswork and stuff, all of a sudden this holds like a value of $300.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not about the candle, it's about the room it's in.
Yeah. And
so that kind of like Virgil and same with Pharrell, they give out those little like pieces of advice where it's like, holy shit, that is like, you know what I mean?
You just don't think of it like that.
Yeah,
right?
the way they think and the way they can say it, it's just
how did they just think of that like that? Yeah, you know? It's it's mind blowing.
So you'd say Pharrell, you kind of take a bit of inspiration from?
Yeah, because he's, you know, he was a skater as well. So it's just, he can just do it all. Yeah. Yeah, music wise, fashion. Yeah.
Yeah, what's nuts about him is he released like there's this thing called like dumbing it down that they talk about where it's like Kendrick, Drake, and like J. Cole.
Yeah.
Well, especially Kendrick and J. Cole, they're very artistic humans.
Yep.
But the whole idea that they can keep such a large audience is because they release songs they know will do well.
Yep.
In albums that are them, for the most part, expressing themselves, right? But there's a few songs there that dumb it down a bit that can get any consumer into their music, and from there. So it's like an entry point, right? That's where you dumb it down. And they were talking about like that concept, and I was just kind of like, fuck, who were we talking about before?
Pharrell.
Yeah, Pharrell.
Yeah, Pharrell.
Yeah, Pharrell. Fuck. I was like, fuck, who's the artist I'm thinking of? Because I mentioned Drake. Yeah, so Pharrell with like Happy.
Yep.
That's just completely like just dumbing it down, making it so like not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Such a simple fucking song to make.
And it's the most happiest song ever.
Yeah, and it's numbers wise, it's one of the biggest ever, eh?
Have you ever seen like the clip of him on Ellen or something?
Yes.
And then they played that for him, and everyone in the world, damn, it's crazy, how music can do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like whole concept, I was watching video on it today, funnily enough, on my lunch break. It was just like, just dump, like every once in a while, if you have like a very artistic project, make sure there's an entry point where you dumb it down so it's very simple for someone to come along and get interested in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an art gallery in like France, like in the Louvre, you have like the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
That's dumbing it down. That's like, that's such a simple point for someone to come in and look at the Mona Lisa. While they're there though, the rest of the room's got art in it. Who knows what they're going to get interested in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of,
I reckon if you could relate to like clothing, I reckon having the core, it would, like when you say dumb it down, it would be like having a core t-shirt, just a normal t-shirt with like, let's say your print. Yep. That's pretty much, it's the go-to, right?
Yeah, it's the entry. Yeah.
And then you can have all these fancy stuff, you know, jackets, hoodies, all your stuff, your experiment stuff. But then everyone's going to focus on that t-shirt because it's always there. It's just that one piece.
That's what G'd Up do really well. is they created a core piece. Same with like Street X over in
Yes,
Perth.
yes, I've seen them.
They just have like core pieces, and then they have these very expansive pieces that once the customer's in, they kind of go. That's where like you get your attention customers.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get the one-off customers, they're buying those real core, simple pieces where they're just nailing it.
Yeah, G Up did really well on that. I've been following for quite some time. Even when they had the store in Parramatta.
Yeah, I used to go.
Yeah,
there.
I used to go there. Yeah, it's awesome. But I've seen their journey, and it's awesome. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed Bo.
Yeah, he's
late
awesome.
last year. Yeah, man, he's a guy. He's very very attentive when you're with him, and he's very inquisitive. Like no matter who he's talking to, I know.
Yeah.
Like I had two of the boys with me who were just like videographers.
Yep.
And like he was asking them questions, and he just like two 19-year-olds, or like one of them was 18 at the time, just videoing, and Bo was asking them questions, and they were kind of like taken back because they're like, oh fuck, like what's he talking to me for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like he's just one of those guys, and that's something I've really picked up from him and other people as well. It was like just talk to everyone in the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to him about like that phase of G'd Up. It was like it's nuts, but he's now in G'd Up Supply, which is like the connection of like a business entity and making their merchandise cool, relatable, and wearable on the street. You know what I mean? Like for any consumer. And he took me through like the showroom, and I was just gobsmacked the whole time.
Yeah,
it's like your understanding of materials, design.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you just standing there and you're like, fuck, like this is the level I think I want to be at.
Yeah.
The amount of work it's going to take is going to be nuts, but it'd be so cool to have something similar.
Just enjoy the journey, bro.
Yeah, that's it. I struggle with like the materials and stuff, I reckon. Yeah. It's not my interest. So I'm kind of waiting for like, I've always kind of thought I have to wait for the right person to come along and just kind of take that part of the business with like, if they want to, if they're like, hey man, I think you got potential on like the clothing side or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, let's figure out a deal here. I'd be more than down to.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of just being able to outsource the idea of the clothing materials sizing.
Yeah.
And just being able to do the marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sit down my ideas. Something you did recently, that magazine stuff like that.
Yeah.
That magazine lookbook and like those type of ideas. That's why I love to kind of put together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love just going out, taking photos,
You
thinking.
just love creating,
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's the best.
Like, but when you meet like a non-creator, it's like, I don't know. Do you reckon they think that we're like?
I think they think you're a bit like I'm a bit fucking weird. Yeah, no, yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because to them, like, you say ideas and thoughts, and I had a shoot with so I went through school with these two girls.
Yeah.
And we went and did a shoot. So we're all Italians. So we went to Leichhardt where the old Italian Forum was.
Oh yeah, that big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen your thing there. Yeah.
Yeah, but the forum's shut. Like, so it's,
okay.
It's not open. But overnight, you could kind of you can't tell that it's not open anymore. But we went in there, and I was telling them about the video, and then they were like, they couldn't really fathom what I was like kind of saying. And then once I sat down in the car, like we went out, we got dinner, we got food, we got drink. And then I sat in the car and I was like, fuck, I'll just edit it on CapCut on my phone quickly. I'll show you what I mean. And it's kind of like, oh, fuck, like that's what you mean. You know what I mean? Even though I said it in my head perfectly out loud, it's not until I showed them that can kind of pick up on it. Whereas if there's other people I talk to, like Suresh, who's my designer, I can say an idea and he's got it it's like telepathic almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's on like the same similar wavelength of like that creative endeavor.
I think they have like a different eye.
Yeah, 110%. The way you see things, the way you see shots as well.
Because you could be making a movie in your head, right?
Yeah.
But people always ask for references and stuff, and sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to dig for it when it's all in here. Yeah. But I think it's the best probably just to write it down anyway.
Yeah, I try and write it down.
Yeah.
When I do like photo shoots and stuff, I'm not the best. I'm not sure if you saw the Red Honcho one.
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, that all came off like one photo of Nipsey Hussle on Pinterest.
Oh, that's awesome.
But like that's like, but I was trying to explain. So when I met up with Honcho, I was trying to explain the shots to him before we did it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of said to him, I was like, the fuck it, man. Don't worry about what I'm saying. Like,
just
follow my direction.
Just stand there.
Yeah.
Just stand in this position.
Yeah. And we'll go from there and then I'll edit it. But yeah, it's hard to like kind of, I don't know. Back to your question about like, what do people think of creatives? Because there's some creatives, especially designers. I think a lot of people think like, wow, they're fucking weird. Yeah. Especially like the big designers, you know what I mean? Yeah. When they come out in the runway and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why before when I go on dates, it's like I don't tell them about that stuff.
Yeah.
And when I do, it's like it changes this whole thing. Like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What like? So how would you like when you meet someone new? Do you introduce yourself as like a business owner, or what? Like, how do you approach that?
First, it's just a normal guy, just
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
normal bloke from the area. Yeah, and then slowly they start to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like to use that business owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I changed my Insta bio to just the founder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have this weird thing. Even when I first started FourWalls, I wanted to be the background guy,
Yeah.
but then it wasn't gonna work, bro. So you know,
It needs a face to it.
Yeah.
People need to connect with
and the only
something.
time it had a face was when probably that last lockdown that we had. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm gonna try to just jump on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See how it travels.
Yeah, so yeah, and it worked. Then as much as I didn't like it, need to practice, did it, and then yeah, from there I think pulled back a bit because I felt like I don't know, just felt this weird feeling, you know, ego and everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm that guy now. I'm in the forefront of this whole thing,
Yeah.
and everyone wants to know me. So then, yeah, until now this year that we have a team, and now it doesn't. It just flows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to be that guy. Someone else can, you know.
Yeah.
But when it's my turn, I can just jump in.
Yeah. I don't like to mention Helos at all.
For real.
I honestly, man, people like, so I'll be out. A good example, right? I had like the older boys, one of
Yeah.
them's moving to Europe. So he had like a drink up in the city, hide out a
Yeah.
room. And I got there and this guy started a brand like for cycling.
Yeah.
And I sat down with him, one of my best mates, Jez, God love him. Like, so I'm sitting down with this guy and I think he knew about Helos because we had mutuals, but like he didn't say anything, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just sitting down with him asking questions like, oh, yeah, like I just said to him, like, oh, yeah, I've worked along like with a few brands in like marketing or whatever, which is true.
Yeah.
It's like a side hustle thing I've done, right? Like just kind of help people. And I just kind of got talking to him about materials, marketing, all that stuff. And then Jez comes along, he's like, oh, by the way, he has like a podcast, he has like all this shit going on, he has like these clothes and he has like TikTok that's doing really well and stuff like that. And I was like, and he started to ask me questions. I was kind of didn't know, like, I don't like to talk about it because I don't like to inflame the ego. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, yeah. And we're males, bro. Like, you know, and it's just I think it's I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because I had that similar situation too. I was on like probably before the last lockdown, I was at lunch on a date with a girl, and then I was wearing a FourWalls shirt, and we're at a cafe, and the guy goes, "Oh, nice shirt, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, thanks, bro," and the girl was like, "Oh, like there's an opportunity. Why don't you like try to sell something?"
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, and then then I was like, "Shit!" Like I was like, "Okay, fuck, I'll just tell the guy," and then slowly the guy found out, oh, it's a barber shop and everything. I was like, oh, you do this? Oh, and I was like, damn, like that feeling is nice, but yeah,
Yeah, you don't want to let it take over.
yeah, I've let it take over.
Yeah.
That's
I think we all do.
yeah, that's one thing. Like even I want to go back to even about Solo when when he used to live with me before the Justice Crew thing. With breakdancing, there was like a lot of politics. There still is. There'll always be politics no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's like this: when you're in it, you end up having this ego, right? As like an individual athlete, and then it takes over where you feel like, nah, that's the way that they're doing it is wrong. It should be done this way, that way. That was me, and that was me when Solo won the Justice Crew.
Yeah.
Everyone was salty about it, because he was a sellout.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought that. I disliked that whole era.
Yeah.
It was just my ego, bro. It was just my ego for a long time. Then, as the years go by, I just thought, you know what, this is just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it sort of made sense because Solo was he actually had like struggles growing up, living at different houses and stuff, you know, and that was, you know, his time to pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people didn't see it like that, you know?
Yeah.
So then, you know, as we get older, you know, we see that and you're like, shit, I look stupid, man. I was like that. Like, hated on this guy for like a minute.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when becoming a business owner, I'm like, man, this is just dumb. Like,
Yeah.
this is just have to focus on business, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
I
hard,
let the ego take over, bro. So, yeah. Sorry, Solo.
Yeah. No, I like he's a good example as well. And Will Star. They're like two guys where they have no ego, even though they completely should. Like they are guys who have achieved so much.
Yeah.
When I speak to them, every time I speak to them, they're so like humble and they're always willing to like talk with me. Like what I don't know what I fucking have to offer them that they don't already have. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I'm just a 23-year-old just talking shit, but like
Yeah,
it's true. But like, yeah, they're very attentive and like we talk about different things and yeah, they kind of like people I want to be like. But with the ego thing, what's hard is I have this and a thing called Sporting Club Helos.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I checked it out.
So those Sunday League videos on TikTok, they do all right.
Yeah.
Like they do like, there's a few that have done 100K.
Yeah.
And you can imagine in Western Sydney, like any video doing 100K of like some guy talking shit at Penrith football fields, you're going to get noticed by people at football fields, right? And so like people like noticing it and then people notice the podcast and stuff. And it's kind of like, it inflames your ego so much on the spot, especially if there's people around and someone comes up to you like, oh, you're the guy that does the TikToks.
Yeah.
You're the guy that does the Sunday League TikToks.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm the man. And then you just realize like, what the fuck? Like I don't do this for people. I just do this because I want to do this.
Yeah.
It's just something I've always wanted to do. It's just kind of like entertain. You know what I mean? I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Same with the podcast. The podcast is just kind of like an excuse for me. This sounds really bad. It's just kind of an excuse for me to meet all these amazing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's a good way. Like if I was to approach anyone, even like yourself, like, oh, can I get you time for an hour? Can we go out and get lunch for an hour? Or can we just do a podcast? And that way we get like content out of it. We actually get something out of it. Whereas I'm just taking you away from whatever you need to do for an hour for lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I kind of started it. It was like, I want to meet all these people. I want to meet everyone. I want to see what everyone's doing. You know what I mean?
Why not?
I just want to mix and match and just see what's cracking. And But and then I think people think, oh, you do it for the views. I don't do it for the views. Sometimes I get 50, sometimes I get 1,000. You know what I mean? I just kind of do it because I really want to do it.
Ego, like, it bites you in the ass at the long run.
Yeah. The hard thing is money as well when you bring money into it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part where it's like monetizing.
And the hard part as well is talking about it to people. Damn. Yeah. But I had to learn that probably like recently too, like the last couple of months.
Yeah.
You know, talking to the barbers and because we have apprentices too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to build them, young boys, and we have to. I hate talking about money, bro.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, 110%.
Yeah.
It's the nature of it.
Yeah, because that's one of the important things too with FourWalls was that, you know, we wanted to upskill like financial literacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Invest and, you know, people use their money wisely on how to build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle. Fuck, man. I'm still not like financially literate by any means. I've just kind of caught on over the past year or two.
Yeah.
But the whole like I used to just think like just save as much as your wage as possible. Like,
You
know what I mean? Like
It's
a very backwards idea. It's only like over the past year I've like started investing and stuff, started setting up ways that money just keeps going without
this
me.
This is like an investment in general anyway.
Yeah, this is investment beyond money. Like this is just an investment in like emotionally, mentally, physically, like everything. Like but financial literacy wise, it's kind of like something that's not really talked about at all.
Yeah,
and I feel like it needs to be talked about more because there's a lot of young men that think like just saving as much as like the idea of inflation isn't spoken about to them. You know what I mean? Like they hear it, and they don't fucking know what it actually is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like investments wise, and then they don't realize like at tax time what they can be doing, and like, you know what I mean? All that shit, and like how they can just keep like how they can build a business out of nothing.
That's
There's
right.
So many things, eh?
I'm learning as I'm going as well with that whole like, you know, money and the whole tax thing with business and stuff. Because I spoke to a couple of people as well. Damn, man, there's so much into it that people don't know about. You know, just lowering the tax and spending for business purposes.
Yeah.
That's how these people move very, you know?
Yeah.
Very comfortable. Having cars and,
Yeah. It's all tax
just
write-offs.
living. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
never taught.
Yeah, yeah, you don't get taught it, eh?
Nah, you don't.
Yeah.
And then it's not like, it's not even like about going, you know, when you go to your tax agent, you just go once a year
Yeah.
just to do your tax. But there's more to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to build like a relationship with them
Yeah.
so they can monitor and, you know, help your growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I always thought, fuck, you just go once a year when it's tax time and that's it. You never see that guy again
Yeah,
until
yeah.
the next year. Yeah. But there's actual more to it, bro. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why you need a good accountant, I reckon.
Yeah.
They just make it so much easier for you.
I
They
know.
just call you, whatever. Yeah, because I've been around a few small businesses
Yeah.
that like make good money
Yeah.
without having to have too many staff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like the accountant will be like, all right, this quarter you've made this amount, so we need to spend X so we can bring you into this bracket so you're not paying too much. You know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
can write like, you could basically just get a new ute right now for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shit like that. And you like at the age like I was at when I learned that, I was like 20 or 21. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
And then you just start to learn and it all starts to make sense.
Yeah.
It can be almost embarrassing if you're learning at like an older age as well. Like I was like kind of like sitting there at like 22 being like, I don't understand so much about finance. Like
Yeah.
I have no reason to. I should have learnt this, but
Yeah.
once you confront it, like it's good to take on. It's something I'd want to do in the future if I've made the right financial decisions over the next decade
Yeah.
and I was in a position to talk about it
Yeah.
and I had businesses that were evidence. Evidence is the massive thing.
Yeah.
If I have evidence and the fruits of my labors, I'd love to sit there and like just hold classes and stuff like that
Yeah.
where I can just talk to people about like, this is how we're going to make money flow. You know what I mean? Like,
People need it, man.
yeah.
School, fuck. It just goes out in one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
Maths and all the numbers, just, yeah, you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see the bigger side of that, you know, of numbers and stuff.
Yeah. Especially with things like Afterpay now and shit like that. Like you hear stories about like people in so much debt because these like scheme, like you know how like you can buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
All that shit, man. I've heard so many yarns of people around here, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, how did you get into that? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Like,
Oh, like they'll just buy like $1,000 worth of stuff, but because it's only $250 today,
yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, whatever, it's cheap. Like, and then the next fucking 4 weeks they're hit with $250 again plus the interest, and like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like big things like people being fresh out of school getting loans for like brand new cars.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck do we need a brand new car for here? You know what I mean? Shit like
Yeah.
that.
Or
That's
like
just
finance as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Like a lot of young kids just finance their car.
Yeah, finance and AMG. Like, who are you impressing? You know what I mean? Shit like that. That's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like, yeah, that's something I'm real passionate about as well. Like,
Yeah.
just kind of, I don't know, smart decisions across the board,
That's right.
help everyone level up.
Yeah.
But speaking about finance, something that's like so different about FourWalls
Yep.
is it's a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone would know this or not know it, but brick and mortar is basically like you're paying rent every week, and it's a physical shop.
Yep.
Now, in a day and age where online business is booming, what's it like taking the risk and owning a shop where you're actually paying rent every week? Like, is it full on? And upkeeping a shop as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us, it's pretty settled.
Yeah.
But we do hit, you know, some dips, some times where shit like bills are coming out, electricity,
Yeah.
you know, the rent, and then we got to pay our, you know, the insurance, public liability, all these fees
Yeah.
come up. But we always make sure that, you know, we have enough to, you know, sustain, to keep it running.
Yeah.
Yeah, our main thing is pretty much the rent and the electricity. But then, you know, we just pretty much just always, I don't know, just do the most that we can with FourWalls.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keep it going pretty much. Yeah, because, you know, we got a barbershop
Yeah.
and we do clothes. So sometimes it does feel like, fuck, it's just like all over the place. You know, just going here, going there.
Yeah.
Money coming in this way, money coming that way, money going out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we always try to just stay on top of it, bro. With rent coming out every week, I think probably our most like hardest part was during the lockdown.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get any support.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be fucking rough.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So we had to find different ways of, you know, different avenues that we
Yeah.
could do. You know, we pay our rent monthly.
Yeah.
So we used to like grind it all the time. The barbers, you know, they were cutting secretly. Yeah, with the lights off.
Yeah, 100.
With like just no music, just quiet.
Yeah.
That's one thing, you know, I give like props to the team. They worked like really hard.
Yeah.
We just try to always keep our lights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortune favors the brave.
People don't know how hard it is, bro. Like, I remember this guy said it to me a couple of weeks ago. I was like, man, I don't know how you do it. Things are going expensive and you guys still have a shop. You know, people, that word is going around now because of the inflation. I've been hearing it a lot now.
Yeah.
Like, how are they still running? You know, are they doing anything? Like, because sometimes it just looks dead.
Yeah.
But these are the people that aren't on the gram or anything.
Yeah.
Until they see what we actually do, then they're like, oh shit, these guys are doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much part of the rent.
Yeah.
Wise, yeah.
Yeah, be full on, bro.
Yeah, rent's expensive, bro.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be prouder because I can't imagine if I was in like Westfields
Yeah.
paying like fucking 10 grand a week or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about with shop fronts and like pop-up stores.
Yep.
Is Westfield, they're not in Westfield anymore and they're in like just like main streets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it kind of gives you, this sounds so weird, but it kind of gives you that like old like convenience store / like milk shop vibe where it's just kind of like real homey little.
Yeah.
It's not like when you walk into a Westfield and there's like fucking bright lights on and there's music blaring like when you're walking around. Like just to be able to walk into a shop, they might have their lights on and their music on, but like it's theirs exclusively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's their space. Like there's no outside noise. It's just you're in there. I think that's like really exciting on like that front.
Yeah, because we have a standalone building, so we're pretty blessed like that. You know, and we try to, it's very homely the way that it's set up. We try to focus on all the senses when people walk in, you know, with like the smell, the sound, you know, what they see.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, was that a main thing when you were building out the store? Was like focus on the like the senses? Yeah.
So we wanted more of like open living, like a homely space. Yeah. Pretty much kind of like what's here. Like, you know, when you took me through there, I was like, shit, you know, this is a place that once I can feel that I can be here like all the time. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's about. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Yeah. I feel like I can be here at all the time. Yeah. The only probably the downside of it is that sometimes we have to think back that we have like it's a shop, it's a business. Yeah. So, you know, we have kids come through on a daily. They do get their haircuts, but some just hang around. Yeah. Just because, you know, it's FourWalls, like it's the coolest spot in the area. Yeah. People want to hang out, but, you know, we try not to let them hang too much. Yeah. Because we don't want to be just like a hangout place. Yeah, for kids. Yeah, it's hard, eh? Yeah, it's hard. Finding that line. Yeah. Because you want kids to be able to like have a outlet. Feel like that place is theirs, but also like you got money to make. It's a place of business. There's bills. There's people to pay. There's shit to do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Would you ever put FourWalls into another store? Man, you're like the 10th person that asked me this within like 2 months already, man. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why, but everyone's been asking. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's the universe telling you. Maybe, bro. Yeah. The next one, I think we might do something different. What I'm trying to aim for is a FourWalls cafe. Oh, man. Yeah, that's sick. Maybe in Bali, but not here. Yeah, fuck yeah. Do you know Sandor Earl? Do you follow footy? Nah, I don't. Sandor Earl, he was like, he's big now. He owned an F45, but he owns like this thing called Air Locker. Yes, I've heard of the Air Locker. Yeah, the gym with the altitude. Yeah. So he owns that, right? He's like one of the stakes. He was one of the first footy players to kind of like be public about business post-playing career. But so he got caught up in the Cronulla Sharks drug saga. Yep. Or Penrith maybe. Fuck, sorry, Sandor. I don't know if you're listening to this. But like, so he got caught up in like back in like 2016, there was like 3 or 4 NRL clubs that got done because the doctors were doing the steroids and shit. Oh, yes. One of them did them in the Cabramatta or something. Yeah. So Sandor got caught up in all that shit. Yeah. Eventually got off with it. But he got caught up. He was one of the players caught up because that was his team doctor. So anyway, he ends up in like Thailand. Yeah. And he had a cafe out there. Yeah. And he talks about it with like the fondest
like tone in his voice. Like he just thinks like it was the fucking best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like he was his own little cafe in Thailand. He'd go surfing after work every day. He didn't make the most money in the fucking
Yeah.
world, but like it wasn't that. It was the lifestyle he lived.
That's right.
That and he was his own boss on top
Yeah.
of everything. And it was just like took that idea, concept, and practice, and then just doubled down in Australia, and it's led to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit more riches, a bit more wealth. But over there, it was wealth in lifestyle rather than
Yeah.
wealth in cash and assets.
Because have you been to Bali?
No, I want to go.
I went there for the first time last year.
Ubad or Seminyak?
Yeah. Well, both, kind of both.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that was like a head turner because I was always wondering why a lot of Aussies go there. And until I got there, I was like, oh, this makes sense.
It's beautiful. Eh?
It's like a second Australia, but on an island.
Yeah.
And I seen that on the plane, looking around. It was just like Australian families with their kids.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm an analyzer, bros, and I take time to process. And I'm like, okay, I think these people go on vacations often. They take their kids, so their kids know they grow up like that. And then when their kids get older, they take their kids. Keeps going, and everyone wants to retire there.
Yeah.
And it's like an island full of tourism, and it runs off by tourism.
Yeah.
Like money, so a lot of money coming in, bro, and a lot of money coming in.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I seen. I was like, damn, because you can imagine, let's say like Penrith, if this was like a tourism area, man, it'll be popping right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You have so much people coming through. Yeah, it's like a lot of
Just foot traffic.
Yeah, foot traffic. Yeah.
Cafe would be gone for that.
Yeah, or like see Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing that in Australia, it's businesses struggle with that because it's not really a tourism area.
Yeah.
Well, in Sydney, it's only the city, the CBD. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where they make their money. But out in the West, it's like,
Yeah. You had to be early to like Byron Bay or something.
to
Capitalize on Australian tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
So the whole idea is to kind of just expand the concept of FourWalls beyond
yeah,
what it already is.
yeah,
I'll rate that.
and we can do things like FourWalls Cafe, FourWalls Fitness Center.
Yeah.
That's the whole brand building.
Yeah.
That's what I've been working on every day. Thought I was done, but I was like, nah, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just like, just build the brand, just put it in cement.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then one of the boys like, nah, you got to keep going. So just got to keep working on it until it just gets to this like level of like a whole house.
Yeah.
Then we can start moving. Yeah.
That's mad.
You can do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I say that all the time. There's no rules.
Yeah.
There's no rules. Like,
Yeah. Or like, see what you did with the clothes. You're doing a podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no, that's why I started Sporting Club Helos.
Yep.
It's like I know a bit about sport. Also know like a lot of niche stuff for whatever reasons. And like the Sunday League thing I've always wanted to do. Like and like it does well, and I knew it would do well because I've seen it work in England.
Yep.
Where like Sunday League's really popular. Obviously, it's football's their sport. And like, I just kind of thought like, fuck, like just call it Sporting Club Helos. And the word empire in business kind of gets like a bad rap nowadays because of like how greedy some corporations have become.
Oh, okay.
I feel like truly like building like a little empire where it's like Helos Music,
Yes.
sport, like Helos Sport,
Yeah.
Helos and Co. like as the umbrella. And there's so many avenues you can go down. And it's cool to think that you think similar, where it's like, FourWalls itself, like the words, no boundaries. You know what I mean? No limitations.
I think it's all got to be like that.
Yeah.
You can't really stay in one. Because you would have been to Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been to Thailand.
Yeah.
You would have seen like shops. There's some shops that, let's say, it's just a cafe and there's a tattoo store in there.
Yeah.
But it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like a head turn at the start. Like, it's weird. Like, they're just doing the most that they can.
Yeah.
But it works at the same time under that one umbrella. It could be the most randomest thing, but if you do it the right way.
Yeah, execution.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had have you met Josh Florentino?
Nah.
He's gone. I went through uni with him and then we linked up again after uni.
Yeah.
But he runs like Hotter Out West.
Yes.
And stuff.
I met him for the first time 2 weeks ago.
At the Hotter Out West
Yes.
event.
Yeah. He came up to me, and I was like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, you're that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
mad.
we linked up. Yeah.
Yeah. I had him on the pod. Funnily enough, we used to sit together in uni. We didn't realize till we'd finished the pod.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
we'd just linked up
Yeah.
and completely forgot we went through uni together. But he, when he was talking about Hot Air Out West, he's like, number one thing is just like execution. It's like any idea, any concepts you have,
Yeah.
it can be done. It's just how you execute it. That's
Yeah.
all it comes down to. And the whole process of how you execute it, that's another story. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, it just comes down to how do I communicate my message or like my idea, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, in the best form possible.
Yeah.
And so just the main point of like expanding, I suppose, It's
Yeah,
just
it
kind
is.
of how do I express this properly?
And it's yours. You can just do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Before we go, bro,
Yeah.
what have been your biggest lessons in running your own show?
Ego, man. That was one thing. And that it's bad when it takes over. You gotta lower it. I had to learn to take a lot of time for myself as well, because when you're in this sort of industry or this game, you sort of really like are too invested and involved in it mentally as well. So there would be times where I just lose myself, like just stuck in this spiral. Just in the whole business side of things, I never got the refreshment, man, because I never take holidays, man.
Yeah.
And it's so rare. I used to take holidays all the time. And another lesson is to always give people their flowers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100. Massive on that.
Yeah.
Always pay homage.
People always say that they do, but they don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason.
What would you say is an example of giving people their flowers?
I don't know. I'm not saying like you don't have to be like, oh, this guy was this,
Yeah.
inspiration. It's more just like, just show some love. Yeah,
Yeah.
just some love. Yeah.
100. What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was that question? We can keep going if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. That was your biggest lessons in running your own show. But this one I like.
Yeah.
Have you had any like pinch me moments along the way where you're like, holy shit, like how cool is this? Like any moments where you just stood still, you're like, wow, this is my life.
Whoa. Damn. I probably went. It's probably more recently, the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say like from that lockdown because that was the biggest dip.
Yeah.
But then the amount of love and respect that I got, it really showed on where the business is going. Yeah, and especially nowadays to this present time. Yeah, I look at it like, damn.
Yeah.
People are really like recognizing it. But years before that, when you see people wear your clothes, you're like, oh yeah, you're not like, oh, take a photo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is crazy. Like before, it didn't kick me till the end because I just thought, oh, yeah, it's just clothes, right? People would wear clothes. It's probably like Nike, like a Nike guy seeing someone wear Nike, like, oh, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got a kick out of that. But until the business grew, that's when I started to be like, oh damn, it's like a sleeping giant, bro.
Yeah.
It's just about to blow up, and that's what like it pinches me. It keeps me on my seat, bro, like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna pop, but it's gonna pop,
Yeah.
and it's gonna pop at this time when I'm just not ready. Yeah.
I think with clothing, it's Isaac John put it really well. Clothes are clothes. It's how you make people feel when they wear them.
That's right.
And like when you see people wearing them and they're not like, I think the big one for me is like when you see someone wearing your stuff and you don't know them. That's a cool feeling.
That is.
Like
It's a rare moment.
Yeah.
Because I have a big circle of friends. So
Yeah,
I always see my
likewise.
friends wear it all the time.
Yeah. And they're like mutuals. I will see wear it, people that like support. Because I know them one way or another. But like when you see someone that you genuinely you look at them like I can't even figure out a connection to you, And like,
I just don't know who you are, but I'm not gonna go up to you.
Yeah.
Just I want to be that guy, but yeah, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
It's a mad feeling.
Well, I get people send me photos that they're taken of someone, at the casino wearing it or something, and send it through. I'm like, oh, well, I don't even know that person, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. 10 years ago, did you expect to be in the position you're currently in?
Nah.
What did you think you'd be in?
I think I'd just be working normal, just a working 9 to 5 person.
Yeah. Is that what you did before all this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did warehousing most of my life, bro. So, yeah, because it's fast money.
Yeah.
Easy money. And, yeah, I've just experienced in that. But I didn't think I would be doing this. I think I'd be just living a normal life.
Yeah.
And not using my creativity at all. Yeah. Which is nice sometimes, but no. I think this is where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sometimes too. Like sometimes it'd just be nice to just fucking chill out.
Yeah.
And
do you ever just wish like you just, I don't know, like just 9 to 5?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I still work a job. I still work.
But just none of this, like strip all this.
Yeah, sometimes. But then I I get to have conversations with people like yourself.
Yeah.
And I go like, no, it's fucking worth it. Like even if I always say like, even if I completely fail, like tomorrow everything falls to shit. What a fucking story to tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and like the other thing as well, like you mentioned before, like if you stayed in warehousing, you may not like have tapped into the creativity. That's arguably the most valuable thing we've got. You know what I mean? Like that you as an individual on Earth decided to really put your creativity in a very capitalistic world where like everyone talks about bottom dollars, profit, fucking shareholders, bullshit. You were just like, nah, fuck that, man. Like warehousing's easy. It's very easy. Yeah. And truly, like it's warehousing and there's so many jobs where you can really do it. You know what I mean? Like anyone can do it if they want to. And you were like, nah, I'm going to take this hard route because there's fruits of my labors that I really want to, partake in. Yeah. And like you go on a journey and that's like the cool, that's the coolest part of it.
Yeah, because one of the boys said that too. He said, with all those jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, there's always going to be work. There's always money to be found everywhere and anywhere. So don't stress about it. That woke me up too because I come from a background of Southeast Asian parents and the whole community. You see all the oldies, the parents just working hard, working their asses off.
Southeast Asians work different.
They work different, man. And it's like non-stop. So that's where I get it from too. But sometimes I can't get a break.
Yeah. Dude, so I have I'm a courier, right? Still. So I have a morning run and I have this bakery I go to. And I was really happy for them because they took their first holiday in like almost 20 years last Christmas. Yeah. And I was like just talking to, so they have like the dad who's out the back. Yeah. And I was just speaking to him. There's Blackson Bakery for all my locals. Go there. Yeah. Next to Chapman Real Estate. And like the guy, the dad out the back, or I'm not sure if it's the dad or the uncle, but like I was just talking to him and I was like, oh, like you're shutting for the next like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, yeah, I'm going on my first holiday. And I think he went back home for a few weeks. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like to think like you've worked for 2 decades straight. Yeah. Like I struggle to sit at home for 6 months.
And they probably like open up what, 4 a.m. or something?
Yeah. Well, the bakers would be in there at like 2 or 3.
Yeah. At 3, yeah.
Yeah, like getting after it. But yeah, like to your point, I think it's like really crucial for people to think about. Is like there's so many jobs that aren't going to go anywhere. There's so many jobs like, especially like basic things like ambulance, teacher, policeman, fireman. Like those jobs we can always do. You know, and there's always going to be space for you to hop in and do that part of society. And like those are the most crucial parts of society, and they're so critical. But like if you're creative and you're in a job where like you feel like you can do more, then go do it. You know what I mean? Like what a fucking journey to tell. Like, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's one of my goals, to leave a legacy behind.
Yeah.
And, probably to die knowing that I did something great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be very powerful to die and have just affected one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one person to be like, fuck, like big, like, so I'm called Big Fax because my brother, even though he's older than me, he's a bit skinny. Yeah. And so like, and I'm taller than him. So like, it'd just be cool to like know that, post death, even though I'll never know because I'll be dead, but like someone was like, Big Fax really helped me. Like this is something he said and I kept on living that. You know what I mean? That's like, think that's why we should all aim for just
Yeah.
affect positively impact someone's life.
Yeah, that's right.
If everyone tries to do that, then we're in good hands. But yeah, fucking we're a long way off it at the moment. But
Talking about death and everything.
yeah, man, we'll finish up. Any last pieces of advice for anyone really heading into there's so many blokes right now that listen to this who are drawing, who are taking on business or anything, like any advice for people really trying to get after it for their own sake?
Wait, we'll go back to that one before. I just want to,
Yeah.
pretty much that hard work as well. It came from my parents. They were business people. They opened up a nightclub in Japan in like the early 1980s.
Yeah.
No, 1990. But then it got shut down because of the Yakuza mafias. It was popping off that time. Yeah, so they shut that down and they came over here, opened up like restaurants, Thai restaurants, and then, they just, my whole family tree are like that. Open something, doesn't work, they just open something else, keep going. So I think that's one thing that I learned, bro. Yeah.
That's mad. I've noticed with like South Asian or Asian culture, it's big, like keeping your intellectual property.
Yeah.
Like running your own show. Like don't give so many of your ideas over. You know what I mean? Like they'll start their own businesses. They don't give a fuck if they're rich or not.
Yeah.
All their ideas are there for them.
Yeah.
And they run their own show. That's something I really took away from like when you're in Thailand, so many small shops.
Yeah.
It's not corporate jargon like over here where you got like massive mega shops. It's so many small little shops.
And how, like you just wonder like,
yeah.
How are you surviving?
Yeah. And then you realize like, fuck, there's so many people just walking through every day. Like that's just how it just keeps turning over. You know what I mean? Like, but that's something I really took away from like Bangkok, especially.
Yeah.
There's so many just small stalls.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of you're your own boss and you have your own intellectual property and you're going to keep that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would have seen people walking with the carts, right?
Yeah.
Man, did that
The
like, motivate
tuk-tuks.
you? Like, or not, just selling food? Like,
Oh, yeah. Food carts. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, because
that's hard shit, man.
Man, that's hard, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I suggest, people should travel to see that side.
Yeah.
To really, it's eye-opener.
Yeah.
Will change your mind and you come back like, grateful for everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that really, I'm not doing this for brownie points or whatever. I was at MBK, so I stayed at Pathfinder Princess next to MB, like, the hotel that's on the MBK.
Yes.
So my flights came with a deal for Pathfinder Princess 3 nights. So anyway, I went to Europe, came back, stopped in Bangkok to go to MBK for suits. I was like, fuck, I may as well just stop at Thailand. I love it. 3 days, kick back, get my body slowly in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's this guy that did my brotother's suits when my brother went over.
Did you go to MBK to do it?
Yeah.
Was it on the level with all the suits?
Yeah.
Was that those Indian guys?
No, bro, I can't remember.
Oh, okay. But there's a level with just suits, right?
Yeah. But there was these two guys where they like had done my brother. So my brother FaceTimed me. He's like, go show them my face.
Yeah.
Because my brother had been in there only like a month before. Anyway, I went in there. I got 3 suits for $600, tailor made. Fucking that's the shit. But they had like these crepes, like the food level.
Yes.
They had these crepes and they were 10 cents each. And they were the fucking best. Bro, just thinking about them makes me hungry. They were the best thing in the fucking world. And there was pad thai for $3.
Oh, man.
And there was like freshly squeezed like mango and orange juice for like $1 a bottle. And like the bottle's that big. And I remember like buying I think I bought like 10 crepes. I just paid like $10, like Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Just because like it was my 3rd day and I just thought like, fuck, I've got all this leftover Bart, whatever. And I loved it. I loved the food. And like how grateful they were and stuff like that. And really like, I'll never forget it. And like, especially the juice as well was $1. I remember I paid like $5 or $10 and just cause I was getting rid of Bart and also just I consumed their product for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
And I was just like this is unreal. Like the way they were so grateful and they were and the way they were just saying thank you or like kokunka. Yeah. Like over and over. And you're like, it just really put into perspective. Like, fuck, like I've got a lot.
That would have been like their whole like weeks or months' wages, bro.
Yeah.
And
you forget that as well, eh? Like the currency and stuff. We forget how blessed we are over here. That's why I like going to Asia as well.
Yeah.
It's like a reality check in the sense of money, but also in like happiness because they're so fucking happy. With nothing.
They are. Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, like I really gotta, just be grateful for everything going on. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
What was the last one.
Fuck.
The last one.
Oh, advice for anyone
Yeah.
on the come up in creative or business endeavors.
I think stay true to yourself. Always stay true to yourself, and follow your heart. Because that's the only way. And make sure you always tell a story, and build something out of nothing, and just make sure you always stay inspired and give your flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah.
No, what would I say?
Yeah. What would you say?
Fuck, just have a crack.
I think so.
Just have a crack, whatever.
We've had every year that I used to always sit down and then think like, okay, I'm gonna give it a crack, and it just never happened. But until this year, the start of this year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a crack for real this time.
Yeah.
You say it all the time because you want to, right? It's like a want, like I'm gonna give it a crack. I'm gonna give it a crack. It just never happened. But then because you got to put in that work as well.
Yeah.
And then this time around, I was like, okay, this time this is for real. This time.
Yeah.
There's no like messing about now. Yeah.
I think big thing is like a lot of people sit down, they see like this whole mountain of work.
Yeah.
And number one thing I've learned is like you just got to take it on every day.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like 95% of human suffering is done in our head.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Wow.
all thinking of like what's ahead instead of just facing what you have to do today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of like that's my big thing. It's just like just have a crack and just take on every fucking day as it comes. Every day you wake up and like go take that on. Don't stress about tomorrow. Just fucking smash it out today.
Chip it out, like chip down like little things each day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a full thing, mega thing in one day or a week. Just do little bits by bits and it'll add up.
They say like it's 18 minutes a day for 100 days straight.
Yeah.
You should be able to learn a skill to like a highly skilled level.
Yeah, I heard that from Ice, from YKTR.
Yeah.
Isaac?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that straight to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got that from him and I had to tune it in to my head and and it works.
Yeah. Like I've learned that with Adobe Premiere Pro. I didn't know that at the start of the year. And just being on it every day, editing the podcast and clips, it's just a few minutes every day. And after
It's
a while,
pretty much
it's like interest in
Yeah.
finance sense.
It's like climbing a mountain, and then you get to the top. The whole purpose is to go see the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
It's not to get to the top and then go back down.
Yeah.
You want to go over it and see the other side, right? Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, soak in the view while you're at the top as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, a lot of people forget to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a lot to talk about. But
There is. There's heaps.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
Appreciate
as
it,
well.
bro.
Where can people find you on socials?
PaddyP.89 on Instagram and FourWalls Culture.
Yeah, one word, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. That's where you can find FourWalls and Paddy himself. Till then, see you next week.